As part of Black History Month in October, I interviewed Pastor Calvin Young, who's the senior minister at Mount Zion Community Church in Aston, and in recent months has taken a bit of a lead in pulling together church leaders from right across the city to discuss and pray for racial justice. Now, here at Church Central, this very much fits with the journey we're on, where from day one we've set out to reflect the rich diversity in our city. More than that, our desire isn't merely to be a diverse family of churches, but churches that include, celebrate, and empower those from a minority background. In the second episode, we get to see how biblical history reveals that those who think of themselves as being from a minority background are not quite the minority they perhaps imagined.
I'm aware that a lot of this is shaped by history and goes back generations, and we are currently in Black History Month. What would you say to white Christians around what we need to understand about Black history to get that Black tension that you're talking about, and recognize that is a huge subject and would take hours to do justice to? But in a few minutes, can you give a few kind of bullet points or indicators or places we could go to understand this better, so that we grasp some of those historical issues that so shape people's perspective?
Sure. Yeah, let me just, before I go back, let me go forward to Revelation. It says, they were all around the throne from every tongue, tribe, and people. And I think that is the end game when we will meet the Lord. So if we then go back to creation, I think for a lot of us, not just white people, but for a lot of us, we need to go back and educate ourselves, especially in Black History Month, which was created to focus on the history of Black people and where they're coming from and some of the challenges that they are facing. I have to go right the way back and find Black history in the Bible. And through my own research, and some people won't take this perspective, but I'm quite clear on it, that, the people who came out of the ark, they were most likely Black people coming. I think there was Japheth, there was Ham, there was Shem. Japheth is believed that he was the father of the white European races. They migrated after the confusion of tongue into Europe and some parts of Asia. Shem, also part of Asia, China, and so on, it is believed. And then Ham, he had some sons, Cush. It is believed that Cush is Ethiopia. Mizraim is Egypt. And Canaan, obviously, is the land of Canaan. And so when God called Abraham, he was calling him out of a region and an area that is called Babylon. Babylon was, as you know, a city and an empire that was being built by Nimrod. And he built a number of mega cities, you would call them. And that included Iraq and Iran and all of that. And the land of Ur is where Abraham came out of. And it is believed that it's possible that Abraham had Black roots and he came into Canaan, which, if you read the scripture correctly, Ham would have been Black. He's the father of the Black race, definitely of Cush and Ethiopia and all those countries there in Africa. It is believed that it's possible that Abraham could be Black. That has mega implications if that is the case for black people, because we tend to think that black people, they've been slaves, and not understanding that it is quite possibly that the whole world, including including Japheth and Shem, coming from Noah, could have come out of black roots. I mean, there is so much that comes out of that. I haven't got time to unpack that. But I believe that for us, black people and white people, we need to go back and read the Bible through new eyes and really understand, because that is what's impacting a lot of our black young people, is they feel they have no roots and they have no identity, and their history is skewed by colonialism and all that kind of stuff, and not realizing that they're right there in the Bible, and they are throughout the Bible, right into the New Testament and into church history.
Well, when I asked you about Black history, I wasn't expecting to have a tour of the Bible, but it's interesting, just the depictions of Jesus with flowing blonde hair and blue eyes and white skin. That certainly wasn't the case, was it? And
no, it was not.
No. I think it's so helpful to not read the Bible through Western eyes or white Western eyes, but see it very much as an Eastern religion, and to read writers that aren't white, Western middle class men, who all have their own perspective. But I've started reading alongside all of my favorite commentaries that I've built up over the years. I've now got an African commentary and a South Asian Bible commentary, and I've got a friend in the Middle East who I have regular conversations with, just from a Middle Eastern perspective, just chipping away at some of my blind spots and some of my prejudice. I think the Bible is so helpful as a foundation for these conversations.
Well, those were some pretty amazing insights into biblical history. And even if some of that was new to you, I hope it's helped you see the rich, multicoloured history that we have as God's people. Just let it sink in. This is our heritage. My encouragement today would be, let's do all we can to live in the light of that. And then come back tomorrow, where we'll delve into more recent history and how that impacts black people right now.